Out here at the Cedar Hill Chill, we had 41 pros sign up. So as you can imagine, after round 1, it's still a very close game. For the lead card, I'm going to follow John E McCray, George Castillo, McCabe, Kody Custard, and Roan. It'll be interesting to see if anybody from the second or the third card does really well here at Mount Lebanon and takes over for the lead. For now, let's check out the action. All right, so we got hole 1 at Mount Lebanon, and this is Bobby, Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, and I have on here McCabe for the commentary.
Yeah. Hole 1 at Mount Lebanon is a pretty difficult hole. It's not that far, but it's downhill and a lot of trees to miss, and that right there by John E McCray is a fabulous shot.
Yes, it is.
George up next. Looks like it kind of maybe clipped a tree and kicked off to the left a little bit, but it should be pretty open over there.
And of course, McCabe coming up there and seeing if he can miss any of the trees.
I got the last one.
Yeah.
That was an escape I had thrown there. I remember that shot.
And of course, Kody Custard with his sidearm.
Patent sidearm.
And he hits a tree early on there.
Very early tree. We got Jared, who's been playing pretty well on tour this year. Throwing a sidearm as well. Skipping into a tree. It's going to be a look. It's going to be a long putt, but it's going to be a look at least. Ooh, a little hot.
I think the temperature was pretty warm out there during this tournament, wasn't it, Eric?
Yeah, it was nice. It was definitely warmer here than it was at the winter warm-up the weekend before. But yeah, most of us are out there wearing shorts and T-shirts, so it's pretty nice. Roan, just a little short. Ooh, off the top.
Vegas off the top. Now, this event was played on 3 different courses, the Beaver course and the Coyote course, and this, of course, is the Mount Lebanon course. It was only a 2-round, 1-day tournament. Nice shot by George Castillo.
Yeah, good save.
But the Mount Lebanon, birdie for Johnny McCray. Mount Lebanon's a fairly new course, isn't it, Eric?
Yeah, it's I think in its second full year now. It's designed by Brian Lamoureux. You can see there in the background walking around. He is a team member from Cedar Hill. He did both of the other Cedar Hill courses, and he designed this one as well. Hole 2 is a tricky little shot. It's like a downhill Anheuser or sidearm with a couple Mandos. That being one of them, the tree right there, and you can see the arrow on the other tree. And that's another fabulous shot by John E McCray. There's a pool on the right side there over that fence you got to avoid as well. And a creek on the left, a big ditch. Here goes my sidearm. I'm really good at throwing sidearms, if you can't tell by that fabulous 100-foot shot. Yeah, I just threw it a little low. Kody, that's the sidearm I'd like to have, something more powerful like that. Jared up. That's a pretty good looking shot coming in. Beautifully done. It's probably only about 25 feet or so for his birdie. Not a bad little turnover up shot. George just throws it up under. It's kind of tough over there on the left side with the bushes and the tree and the creek. And
I was going to say this hole isn't a long hole, but it sure is a kind of a tricky one with the way where it's placed.
Johnny just a little short side on that one. He looks pretty disappointed, but it was a pretty good drive. So, ooh, Jared left that way short, didn't he? From a knee to save par. Which is, I believe, what we're all going to take on the hole is a star par.
I believe so.
Threes around. Going into hole number 3. This is probably one of the trickiest holes on the course. It's pretty long. Very, very tight off the tee. Blind, downhill, and there's a lot of shrubbery right around the pin. You can see how tight that tee shot is. Johnny peers it like it's nothing.
So when you're on a hole like this, Eric, and there's a lot of trees in there, how do you just kind of just try to make the trees go away in your mind, I guess?
Somewhat, yeah. For the most part, all I'm trying to do on this tee shot is nice and flat right through the middle, and basically just try to get up there for a good look at my second shot on a 2-shot hole like this, and I honestly couldn't have placed it any better than that shot right there.
And this is a second appearance of Kody Custard on our lead card for the Dirty Dozen Tour event, so he's been doing pretty good as far as coming to our events.
Sure has. I believe this is Jared Roan's second as well.
Yes.
And it would have been Johnny's probably had he shown up to the winter warm-up. Just on the right side there. You can see the basket down on the left. Jared throwing a rock, I believe, right at it. Beautifully placed.
George was almost the same shot.
Just about. Looks like he turned it a little. Is going to get over that tree.
Oh,
Looks
look at
like
that kick. Wow.
Kick straight left. Looks like I threw something that was a little more stable than I thought, but that's pretty open around those trees, and I should have a look at the putt for 3. Johnny way down the fairway. Nice and easy upshot right under the basket. A little bit of a skip, but well in his putting range.
Cody's stuck in some of the branches there trying to get out.
Kody with a jumper. Oh, wow.
Now this is a shot I put on Facebook because if you watch, folks, it goes in and barely. You don't even need any of the change.
No, just a little low, but that's the beauty of putting nose up.
A little bit of a replay here on that shot. Boom.
Crazy. Good 3. I'll take it. Good birdie there.
Oh,
George
nice.
with a nice putt.
Oh, no, not a birdie putt. That was for par, wasn't it?
It's pretty much a par 4.
Ah, okay.
So I think, let's see. On the hole, looks like we had 4 threes, and Kody with a 5 on his second shot was there on the right side.
So Johnny's maintaining his lead over George and everybody else going into hole 4. This one is a pretty tricky one where you can't even really see the basket.
Yeah, it's up there. You can see a flag right up there, right to the left of that. If you watch Johnny's disc, that's pin high, probably 15, 20 feet out. George down the right side. Lee doesn't look too happy with it, but it looks like he got a great kick there. It could have been a lot worse. It could have ended up where this drive ends up. Turn that over a little bit, and I get the opposite kick into the woods, so could always be worse.
Jared goes for his shot. A little low. Gets a nice big skip.
Huge skip.
Cody's up for his shot at hole number 4. Takes it a little high. And I lose it.
I think it clipped the tree and kicked left there. I don't think he's going to have much of a look for his birdie, but should have a relatively easy 3.
And here's where yours got kicked into some branches, and you look like you're having a fun time trying to get in there and set up your shot.
Asking Jared if I'm good there. This is pretty much just a layup. I really have nothing. Trying to get it to skip a little, and that's still probably 15, 20 short. this basket sits on a bit of a mound as well, and it kind of drops off behind it. So anything short, kind of not necessarily a death putt, but a tricky putt at that.
And you can see real quick the red disc that came out, and I believe that was Kody's shot trying to get out of the bushes there. Johnny going for his long...
Good birdie.
Birdie putt. Nice one.
Take my par.
Oh, Kody.
Wow, that's not good.
Must be a little frustrated from the last couple holes, maybe.
Yeah, losing a couple strokes here and there isn't very fun, and it's really easy to lose focus. Jared taps in his par.
Moving on to hole number 5. Johnny's maintaining that lead, and I think Jared now takes over Kody's spot. Gets on top of Kody for after those last couple holes.
Mm-hmm. This is a pretty easy hole. You just want to pop it up high and let it finish left. I say it's easy, but that wasn't the best shot. Right there where Robert was coming out of the trees is pretty much where the basket is. Just 270 uphill. I'm throwing a verdict. Just throwing it right down the middle and letting it stall out left. And give yourself a putt. I say it's relatively easy, but there's a lot of cedar trees up there that can really, really cause havoc on your birdie putt.
I saw that George threw that thumber. Sure seems like a hard hole to really throw a thumber at. I guess got to be pretty good at that.
It does, because it's kind of a low ceiling off the tee. If it was more of a window, I could see it, working out a little bit better. But
Johnny working over the trees and goes a little
deep,
yeah.
But it should be pretty easy. Comebacker. Should be just fine. George lays it up there. Johnny with his par save. Kody does the same, and I'll tap in a birdie.
Very nice birdie.
Yeah. Not bad.
All right, hole number 6 is next at, looks like it's 250 feet.
Yeah, this is a slightly downhill, tight window. There's a lot more trees on the hole than that tee sign just showed. It's a pretty tight little gap to get there. If you're early left or early right, you really don't have much of a shot here. So you really want to just lace it down the middle. Looks like George is going for another thumber shot. It's hard to film on this hole, I can imagine.
Yeah, there's just no, everybody throwing it high or throwing it, and then once I get down there, there's no way to know where the disc is at. Oh, there we caught Jared's a little bit there.
Kody's going for that big sidearm as well. It's a risky shot because if you put it out there and the wind is blowing, kind of like this shot here, I believe, the wind just kind of pushed it out and slammed it down into the trees, and there's really not much of a shot there. Kind of giving a bit of a run, just trying to not get a bogey on the hole, really. I believe that was Kody.
Yes, Kody stuck back in the trees, going for it. Johnny going for it, hitting the chains, not quite getting it. A little bit disappointed in that. Jared going for his and throws it right past the basket.
Yeah. Uncharacteristic there of Jared.
George, I believe, going for his
birdie.
2. Yep.
Birdie.
Johnny brings it in with a par. Jared brings in his par.
I believe we missed one of Kody's shots because I think that was a bogey. I believe he didn't go very far on his second shot. It's that thick over there on the left side of the fairway, so he had to settle for the bogey.
All right, on to hole number 7, 470 feet. Johnny, of course, maintaining his lead.
He's maintaining very well.
Yeah.
This hole is tricky. It's a beautiful hole, though. Very picturesque. Look at that thing. It looks a lot easier on video than it does in person, that's for sure. Throwing a giant. Nice and flat. Hoping to get a little turn out of it. Didn't turn it quite as much as I want, but should be up there on the left side for a long putt. And this shot.
Johnny goes for it. Looking nice. Boom. Parks it.
That's amazing. That's a beautiful shot. Not too many people can execute that shot right there in golf, and it's amazing to watch Johnny McCray do it.
Jared hits hard in one of the close trees there.
Ooh, that was looking good. Clipped a little branch, dropped down. Should be fairly easy up and down from there. Jared throws out. I think he's probably at this point just trying to get somewhere down the middle for a relatively easy 4. Which that's a pretty good shot from where he was. Got Kody here. Throwing a nice up shot.
Eric with his up shot. Looks like you were going for it.
Trying to go a little bit for it. I saw Johnny's disc right there under the basket. Ooh, that's
George.
Just a bit right, probably. But saw Johnny's under the pin and thought, you know, we're through 7 holes now. I need to, if I'm going to track him down, I need to start going for a couple of these shots. And especially with Johnny there under the pin, getting ready to get another stroke on the field.
Boom, look at that. Beautiful birdie.
George probably should have had a birdie as well. Just a little bit on the right side. But
all right, moving on to hole number 8, 260 feet.
This is the stretch of 8, 9, and 10 holes that you want a birdie. You really, really want a birdie all 3 of these holes. They're pretty easy holes, fairly short. Couple different routes on this one. You can go Anheuser sidearm, or there is a small hyzer line that George is trying to take right here. And looks like it clipped a tree. I'll throw the hyzer as well. You want to go a little wide. Let it bring up, skip up to the basket. And that's how you want to do it.
That's a nice shot there, Eric. Kody going for the sidearm. Going on the other side. Looks like he's a little short there. Jared also taking the sidearm shot. Going a little wide.
Clipping a branch, it looks like, and then hitting a tree.
George now going for his up shot. A little far to go, but brings it up there. Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to say on these next 3 holes, you're going to want to birdie 2 of them in order to, you know, stay in the hunt.
Jared unfortunately hits another tree. Kody going for the long putt.
Ooh, off the top.
Off the top. Johnny going for his birdie.
Got it.
Yes.
Kody saving 3. You can see the wind blowing a little bit up there, not a whole lot. It's kind of, this course is kind of down in like almost a little bit of a valley, you know, where you almost drive into it, so it's fairly protected from the wind, with the exception of a couple holes.
And EMAC gets his birdie. Johnny pulling a little bit farther even with that lead going into hole number 9. And Eric, you are catching up with George for the second place spot.
Right there. Nicely done by John E McCray.
Now, this is another hole you said that you really want to get the 2 on.
Yep.
But looks like with all those trees, you really got to shoot it straight up the gut there.
Yep. It's not too far. It's really a lot wider and an easier hole than you think. It's just one of those holes that you really want to birdie. You feel like if you walk away to the next hole with a 3, you felt like you let one get away there.
George goes kind of wide to the right as we're watching the basket from the camera angle. Kody seems to get up there. Jared going with the sidearm. Goes a little bit out to the left.
A little bit of a bad skip and roll as well.
George can't quite complete the birdie. Jared going for the long birdie. Makes it.
Good putt.
Eric McCabe steps it up. Gets his birdie.
Johnny McCray. Yup. Good front 9 by Johnny McCray, shooting a 22. 5 down. That's pretty solid.
Looks like George is the only one that walks away with the par here. Okay, so that's holes 1 through 9. If you want to click on the link here, you can see part 2 of the Cedar Hill Chill, and where we continue on with holes 10 through 18.